What is up, everyone? So today I'm gonna show you how to make this simple website homepage, this section right here today. And then when we hover over get started, got this cool little action effect right here. And then when I go ahead and shrink this down to mobile, you'll start to see that it is responsive and that it will adjust to the screen size that we currently have. And then boom, get started just like this. So this, I kind of made this into a series, but essentially if this is your first time on my channel, I'm basically documenting myself, learning how to code, and this is what I built for today. And I just want to showcase you how I did that so you can actually go ahead and learn together. And little sneak peek is that I made this part too. So when you click on get started and you click on it, you got this cool little email sort of account sign up form that I'm gonna make another video. So I guess that'll be like a part 3 on how I did that after I make this video. So make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button if you want to see how I made that. And if this is your first time on my channel, I already made a video showing how to create this nav bar on the top right here. So this, if you want to go ahead and watch that first before you watch this video, then it'll probably make more sense. But basically the nav hamburger menu, you can see here, I added some effects to it, but pretty much that is in the previous one. So that's like part 1, how to make this nav bar up here. So I'm gonna be starting with this already created, and then we're gonna go ahead and create this section for this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so here we are on the code editor. I'm using VS Code. And as you can see, like I said earlier, I already have the nav bar coded up from the previous video. But just note that if you did not watch that tutorial yet, you don't have to. You can do all of this that I'm gonna show you today just by watching here. But if you did wanna follow along, definitely go down in the description below and watch that video first before doing this one. But if you don't, you don't need to. But basically, again, this is a different styling, but I'm gonna have already my code up here. So in case you're just starting, basically create a index.html file by clicking on this button, and then also have a style.css, and then the you don't have to have a JS file for this video because we're only gonna do a index.html and CSS for this one. But let's go ahead and get started. And the HTML for this is pretty simple, not too difficult. And pretty much you're gonna do create a div, and I'm gonna name it main. I'm using Emmet, so I can basically type .main and then press tab, and now we have it automatically created for us. And I'm gonna hit enter, and now within this I'm gonna create a main container. So dot again, main dash container, press tab, and then hit enter one more time. And now let me scroll up so you can see this a little better. All right, so now within this container I want to create something called the content. So I'm gonna name this main dash content. So now we have, let's make sure I spell that right, main content, press enter here, and then for the H1 I'm gonna press H1, and I'm gonna type in tab here, and then press let's see, skyrockets. So this is just random copy, you can literally type whatever you want to, but I'm gonna just keep it consistent with what I have. Skyrocket your results. And then let's press enter here, and now let's add the P tag. So press P, tab here, and then let's put LuxCo allows you to fully automate your business so you can focus on what's important. All right, and let's save this. And now you can see this is what it looks like. So if you don't have the nav menu up, or you didn't create this, you basically will have this like blank screen pretty much without this here. But so far this is it. And also I opened this with live server, so you can download that plugin if you want to, so that it updates automatically without me having to like go here and refreshing. All right, so now let's go within, let's see, outside of the main container. Well, before we do that, let's do a button first. All right, so let's make sure, create a button. So type button, and then I want to have a class of main-btn. I'm gonna press tab, and then within this, I want an A tag. So basically press A, and then tab here. And for the href, you can just leave it with the hashtag. And then here I wanted to say get started. All right, so now we have this showing right there. And now let's go and let's make sure I have main content. The closing div for main content, I'm gonna press enter, and now we're gonna create the image which you saw on the right side of the screen. So right now this is basically the technically the left side. So now let's create the right side pretty much. So I'm gonna do dot main dash image dash container, and then I'm gonna press enter. And now I'm gonna do image. I'm making an ID, so image hashtag, and I'm gonna do main dash image, and boom, and press tab, and now we have this. So now if I hit save, you'll see that there's nothing because we don't have an image. So now let's go ahead and create that. So actually we're gonna have to go here to create an image folder. So let me just create that really quick, and let me just do images and just press enter. And note again, I have a plugin, so my icons might look different from yours in case you're like freaking out why it doesn't match. But now let's go ahead and let's go to this website, and I'm using this one called Undraw. So simply go to undraw.co, and you will be able to go into this website. And let me open this up really quick so we can see. And pretty much you can use these illustrations. They have a cool policy. But basically this is where I got mine from, and I want to use the I have a specific color here. So don't worry if you didn't have the previous tutorial, you won't have this file, but don't worry about that. Just watch this for right now. But basically what you can do is go to this color little box right here, and I can copy a color I want. So let me make sure to put hashtag, and you want to keep the color I'm using, do 212329. And then I'm gonna go ahead and click on search, and I believe I typed in let's type in space. Let's see which picture I used. Oh yeah, I used this one right here. So all you have to do is click on it, download the SVG for your project, and then you're set to go. So now we have this here. So all I have to do is open this. Let's see, show finder. All you want to do now is basically drag this into the images folder you have here. So now it looks crazy, but don't worry. And then once you have this dragged into your images folder, so let me click off that here. Let me exit off this. Hover over it and then right click it basically and rename. And then I'm just gonna call this pick one, just to keep it simple. And then let's go ahead, let me exit off this really quick. And now let's go into the src for the image tag. So now we're in the image right here, src, and I'm going to type in images, and as you can see it already pops up with the folder we created. Press slash, and then you can see here just type in pick1.svg, or you can simply click on it because it pops up here. And if you didn't do it properly, you won't be able to see it like pop up, so just note that in case something doesn't show up. And now you can see this ginormous image right here, which we'll work on it. We'll fix that later. But it's pretty much the what's it called? The HTML parts. Now, in case you didn't follow the first tutorial, make sure you go up to the head and add a CSS file. But for this, let's actually create a new file. So just follow along here, and let me click off. So let's click out of the images folder, and let's make sure we're on the main tab right here. I'm gonna click on the new file. Let's just call this content.css. Alright, so for this example, I already have style created. So for me, I'm just going to simply go to the top and import this. But if you don't have this style tab, just go to your head right here and just type in link. And then press tab and then just type in content.css. But since I already have a CSS folder, I'm just gonna go and literally go here on style. Let me hit enter up here, and I'm just gonna do at imports, and then I can just type in URL. And hold on a second. Yeah, URL, and then just type in content.css, and that's equivalent of doing it like here. But since I'm gonna have eventually like a bunch of these CSS files, I don't want to have like a million on my header, so just all of them, this is essentially like my main folder right there, or file. So now if I hit save, we can test this out too to make sure. So let's go to index.html and let's check let's just target the main class. So that's the entire thing. Let's do like background red, and you can see that it's working. So if you follow along from the previous tutorial, just literally go to the .css file and just import that. And if you're not, just do what I showed you earlier with the head tag here. And now we're pretty much set to go with the actual CSS. Let me save this and reset it there. All right, so now let's go ahead and start the CSS. So in case this is the first time, I'll just go ahead and do it again. But I have this root where I created these colors earlier. So if you want to go ahead and follow along with this, let me just go ahead and copy this, just make your life easier. Just copy this right here, and that's the colors we're going to be using for now. And this basically allows me to change the colors, which I'll show you in a second. But for instance, let's target main, and I want this background color to be the dark gray. So what I'll type in is var -- dark gray, and boom. So now it's the whole background is dark gray. So if I ever want to change this, I can just simply go up here and change this color right here, and then it'll change this color right there. So imagine I have like a million of these. I can change entire website just from this root up here. So I already have this root in the style CSS, so I'm gonna delete this. But just in case you didn't know that, I'm gonna go up there. And now let's go ahead and target the main container. And I'm gonna go ahead and display grid. And let's make it, let me close this out really quick so you can see. Hold on. It's a little better. It's gonna be hard because it's on iPad right now, but eventually you'll be able to see like the full website in a second. But let's just do this for now. So display grid, and right now we're targeting this section right here. So this entire part right there. It's the main container now, and I want to do grid template columns, and I want to just do one FR, so that way they're both evenly side by side. So now you can see that. So now if I were to inspect this, you should see, so drag this up. Just main container. So you can see 2 boxes right now. So I can't like click it and show you, but right there. So the reason that it's uneven is because the image is just super big. So we're gonna resize that in just a second. But basically your screen should look like this. And then let's close this back over here. Let's press enter and let's do align items. And let's do center. So let me shrink this over here. And then let's go ahead and go with justify. Let's see, justify self. That's not how you spell it. Self, center. And then also we're gonna do width of 80%. And then I'm gonna do a margin 0 auto so we can center it, because right now it's not it's like it has this weird like gap when you inspect it on the right here. So see that margin all over that right there. So what we're gonna do is do margin 0 auto. So once I save this, and now you can see that it's centered nice and clean. So basically the top and bottom have 0, and then the auto is the side. So boom, now we have it centered, looking nice and clean. And then let's go ahead and let's do a height. I'm gonna do 90 viewport height. And let's do background color and var, let's see, -- dark gray. Alright, so now let's go ahead and go down to the main content. So now we are targeting the actual text right there. So now we're targeting the text. So let's shrink this over so you can see it a little better. And let's go ahead and justify self. I want this to start. So I want it to start right on the left corner. And then let's go ahead and do margin left just to have some padding on the side, so 20 pixels. And then let's do color. And I have white so far, white. So again, that's from the roots right here. I mean, you can just type hashtag FFF. It doesn't matter for this, but in case you want to follow along. And then I have the one more thing is width 80%. Now let's go down here and let me make this a little bigger and then drag this over like this so you can see a little better. It's kind of hard to see right now, but a few more CSS and then you'll be able to see it much clearer. So now we have the main dash content. I'm targeting the H1 now, so that is the skyrocket your results text. And I just want the margin, no, actually no, I want the font size to be 1, or let's do 2 rem. And again, notice my font 2, by the way, is a different font, so you can just literally do, you'd have to import this with Google Fonts, so I have Nanodegree, but in case you don't have a font, just use the default one for now, and then you can go out and do that after. But that just in case you were wondering, like, why does your font look different from mine? And then again, you would import this in the head too. If you were doing Google Fonts, so I have, this is my link for the Google Fonts for Nito, and then basically it's just font family right here. So let's go main contents, and now let's target the actual P tag. So boom, and let's go ahead and do margin top 1 rem, and then font size. Let's do 1.2 rem. Alright, so it still looks kind of ugly because we're not done yet, but let's target the button now. So main dash btn, and I'm gonna do font size of 1 rem, background color of var dash dash bright red. Okay, so now you got the color. And then I want to do a padding of 8 pixels and then 20 pixels. So now it's wider. Do border, so we get rid of that border around it. Let's do none. And then let's do border dash radius 4 pixels, so we're making it smooth on the edges. And then we'll do color, so coloring the text now with whites. And you can't see it yet because I have an A link, so I have to change that eventually. So let's go margin top 2 rem, get some space on the top, and then cursor pointer, and let's go do position. So we're gonna position this relative, and you'll see in a second why. But basically this is going to help us do the cool effect that you saw with the blue. And let's go ahead and do transition, and this is when we hover, so you'll see all of this work once we all add this up. And then let's outline it, so whenever we click on it, there's no like weird line on it. So now it's like this. So pretty much this is what it looks like now, and if on desktop view, it pretty much looks the same. So let's go ahead and let's do .main dash btn a, so that we can actually target the text this time. So position relative here, and then we're gonna do z index. So this is important that you do z index, because if you don't, when you hover, the text is gonna be covered. So z index essentially is like think of it like 3-dimensional, and it's like forward like this. So if you quick Google search, you'll know exactly what it is. But basically this puts it in front of everything. And then let's do color. So now we can change the color for this one. So var dash dash white. Now it's white. And then last thing would be text decoration, none. Alright, so now we have the underline away. So now let's go now down here. So now let's get into the parts where we actually create the cool effect that you saw earlier. So basically I'm gonna go ahead and do .main dash btn and then colon after. And this is going to be able to create this effect we have here. So let's do position absolute. So again, position relative and position absolute is in relation to the container you're in. So now we're inside of the button now this time. and let's make sure the content it's empty. So we make it empty, we just put little quotations like this, and then let's do a top 0, left 0, width 0, and then height you want it to be 100%, and then you want the background to be, let's make it so I haven't created this one yet. It's called light blue, but it's basically just a color to my root thing. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and let me say this really quick. I'm gonna go to my style, that's CSS here. I'm gonna add it, so I'm gonna put -- light blue colon, and let me check what the color for this was. And the color was #337A, was it F1, comma, now we got the light blue. So now we see that we can't see it hover yet because we haven't made that CSS class, but we're almost there now. So let's go and let's finish this up. So now we'll do .main - button hover, and then we got color, and I'm gonna do var -- white, comma, and then I'm gonna do main -btn colon hover colon after. So now we're targeting the actual blue class part, and then we're just gonna do width of 100%. So now we go over, still can't see it yet. So let's see, make sure I type everything properly. Main button hover after 100%. You can't see it yet. Might be missing one more thing. Let me just double check. Oh, that is why I was going crazy. I forgot the I. Alright, so now there we go. You can see it. It updates, but it looks kind of weird. I'm not sure why it's should be doing the make sure, did I make my other class wrong? So it should not be doing that. So let me try to add really quick. So let's add the image first. So let's change the image sizing. So right now it's not doing what I want it to do, but you can see here now everything looks much better. So I know I must have put like a semicolon or something wrong. Let's see. Let's make sure I check everything with 100%. Let's see. Come on. Actually, let me do main -image -container, and let's make sure text align center. Let's see this. Yeah. All right. So now let me double check. What did I type in wrong? Ah, I see. That is what I forgot. I completely missed over this part. So not background. Transition. All 0.35s. And then border radius 4 pixels. Alright, there we go. Okay, I was going crazy, but we fixed the problem. So this is pretty much the hover effect right here. Looks pretty dope. And if we zoom everything out, I mean, this is pretty much except the H1 should be 2rem. Yeah. So now it should be 2rem like this, and then boom, we have the cool hover effect. So now all I have to do is add the media queries to make it mobile responsive, and pretty much that's how it goes. But in case this is your first time seeing this cool effect, let me show you just like how this goes down. So pretty much if you didn't put z-index here, so if you just put like 0, see how it covers the A tag, which is the text, the get started text, it just covers that. So we put 2 to make sure that you can see it. And then also here for the content, you're like, what is this? If I type in like hello, you can see there's literal text inside of that. So we're gonna make sure that is empty. And then if we started like if we did like 10 pixels at the top, and then let's do Maybe 10's not enough. And let's hover. You see how it's off because it's 10 up and then 10 left basically. So that's why we have it at 0. And then same here. And then the width is 0 because it's starting at the literal 0 part here. So when we put with 100%, like if I put 10%, it's literally gonna go 10% of this right here. See that? So 10% like that. So that's why we do the 100% here. And boom, so that's a little rundown on why that's working. And then as far as like the after and all that stuff, you can pretty much see that it's adding it after. This isn't, you don't have to target the HTML, you don't have to add anything for this, so that's a cool thing you can do with CSS. And also you can research more stuff about that on Google. I'll tell you a lot more about it. But basically this is how we did it here. So now let's go ahead and create the media queries, and then we'll finish up with this section. Alright, so pretty much I can just go here and type in mobile responsive, and let's do @media. I'm gonna do screen and max width. Max width of 768 pixels, and then I'm gonna do target the main container, and we're gonna display grid. I'm gonna do grid template columns, and I'm gonna make it auto. And let's go down really quick. And now I'm gonna do align items center, justify self center, width 90%, margin 0 auto, height keep it 90 VH, and then background color will be var dark gray. Save this. So now let's go back down and let's target the main content. So main dash content, and I want to justify self center, color var white, width is 80%, and then let's do margin of 0. And next let's target the H1, so dash main dash content H1, and I want the font size to be 2.5 rem. So in case you don't know what rem is, basically it's the font set to 16 pixels. So this is pretty much 2.5 times 16 pixels, and that's how many pixels you do. But it's just easier to do rem in terms of responsiveness. And then let's do main dash content of p. So now targeting the this text here, and let's do margin dash top 1 rem, font size 1.5 rem. So the text a little bigger, and now we have to get rid of the image because it's taking away too much space. So let's do hashtag main dash image display none. Boom, now it's gone, and a cool effect like this still. And now I want to add another effect. This is a little extra, I would say, but it definitely, you can tell there's like a big difference in it. Let me just drag this here. So right now it's, I mean, you could leave it like this if you want to, but I want to add a little more extra work to it. So add media screen and max width of 4, let's do 480 pixels. And basically I'm gonna do main dash content, and I'm gonna do text align center. So now it's centered the skyrocket results and also everything else in between. And then let's do main dash content H1, font size be 2.8 rem, just a little bigger here. And then main dash content P, and let's do margin top dash top of 2 rem, and then font size I'll make it 1.5 rem here, and dash main dash btn is padding of 12 pixels and then 36 pixels. So I'm making it a little bigger just because it means mobile is much easier to use. And then last will be margin dash top. I just want to increase it a little bit more, so 2.5 rem. Alright, so this pretty much is the media query. So now if we go back to the home page, we have created this section here. So again, if you haven't created this navbar, definitely go and click on the video in the description to create this. And now we have this section here with this cool little animation effect. And then when we resize the screen, you can see it starts to shrink. And now we hit the 768. So now it takes out the image. And then we go in here to the mobile, it's like this. So this is the part 2 part. Now let me go and show you the third video I'm going to create. So this is pretty much I show this beginning, but basically when you click on it, you're gonna have this cool little email form pop up, and then when we go out into desktop, we're gonna have this clean looking sign up form right here. So if you want to see that video, then definitely go down below and hit that subscribe button, and I'll link it once I have it created. And if you did enjoy this tutorial, definitely go down below and give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already. Comment down below any additions or tweaks to the code to make it a little better, and also what languages you're learning out there. And aside from that, I will see you in the next video. Peace.